Hello, everyone. I'm Jasmine Graham. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the president and CEO of Minorities in Shark Sciences. I wanted to hop on today just to do a quick Q&A about our Diversifying Ocean Sciences program, which is a new program that we just launched this year. Applications opened on September 1st, and we've already had a lot of really great questions coming on social media and our emails. So I thought it would be a good idea to post this video to talk a little bit about the program and answer some of the questions that we've got so far, and also answer a few of your questions live for those of you that catch this video. For those of you that don't catch the video, you will be able to see the recording. And if you have any additional questions after watching the recording, feel free to email us at execboard@misselasmo.org. So I want to go ahead and kick us off by first of all thanking the Bransick Foundation for sponsoring this program. We got a generous sponsorship from the Bransick Foundation of $200,000 plus a $50,000 match. So if you are watching this and you are interested in supporting this program, please email us. Bransick Foundation will be matching up to $50,000 worth of donations. We have 11,000 so far towards this program. So if anyone is out there that's part of an organization that wants to donate or wants to donate as an individual to support this program, your money will be doubled. So thanks again to the Bransick Foundation. So let's get into the program. So this is a really exciting program that's a hybrid program that will be mostly online, and then it will have a week intensive in-person workshop. So there are 3 concentrations. The first is field ecology, which will focus on field work. So in addition to our basic topics, we also will be working with the field ecology concentration to learn a little bit more about the field side of ocean science. So permitting, what do you need to run a successful field program, different field techniques, such as deploying different gear types in terms of fishing, doing quadrat surveys, doing snorkel surveys, observational studies, handling animals, all those sorts of things is what you'll be focusing on if you do that concentration. And that workshop for that concentration will be held at Field School in Miami, Florida. Then we have our second concentration, which is marine technology. And this will be focusing mostly on our things that we use in technology in ocean science. So robotics, so things like ROVs, things like that. Biologgers, which is something that is really commonly used to track animals in ocean spaces. So you'll be learning a lot about how those work, how to use them, how to build your own. And that will be the focus of that concentration, is how do we apply marine technology to study things in the ocean. So you've got field ecology is focusing on going out into the field and studying things. Marine technology is focused on using technology to study the ocean environments. And the Marine Technology Concentrations Workshop will be held at Woods Hole in Massachusetts, as well as partnering with the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy, which is also located in Massachusetts. So that is where that concentrations workshop is. And then the last concentration is laboratory techniques. And the focus of this concentration is really lab skills. So what are things that you can do in lab, different assays, different analyses that you can do, particularly dealing with stable isotopes and genetics. And that will be the focus of that concentration. So if you're interested in more of the lab side of ocean science, that is definitely the concentration for you. That workshop will be held at University of California, Merced. So that's obviously in California. And so we've got those 3 concentrations, and each concentration has its designated workshop that you attend. So I'm getting a lot of questions on social media about travel. People are concerned about how do I get here? How do I get there? Also, people are asking about if it's open to non-US citizens. So in terms of travel, whenever you are selected to participate in this program, all travel is covered. So we will get you from wherever you are to whatever workshop your concentration has to deal with. So if you are in Kansas and you need to get to Massachusetts to do the Woods Hole Oceanographic and Atlantic White Shark Conservancy workshop because you are in the marine technology concentration, we will get you there. So all expenses are covered from the time you leave your house to the time you get back inside your house. As with all MIST programs, all travel is covered as part of this program. So that leads me to the question of, can non-US citizens participate? Yes is the short answer. The long answer is as long as you can get to the United States. So yes, we will cover travel for you to get here, but there are other things that MIST cannot control that you have to be aware of. So if you are required to get a visa to come to the US for a week, we will investigate with you to see if your country is currently doing visas to the United States. There are a lot of things going on in the world, like COVID and things like that. And there are some countries that are backlogged with travel visas. And so if your country is one of those countries, or if there's some other regulatory constraints that are going to affect your ability to get a visa to come to the United States, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in the program. So I would recommend that you look into your country's visa situation. A lot of countries, and this is listed on our website, a link to all of the visa information. A lot of countries, you can look on the US Embassy website. You can see how long it takes to get a visa. There are some countries that are at like 300 days to get a visa. If you need 300 days in order to get a visa, obviously you're not going to have it in time. So if you have a country that's backlogged, you will not be able to participate in the program. But if you look and your country's visa process is 100 days or less, you would have plenty of time to get a visa. And so we would work with you on that and help you fill out the necessary paperwork to get that visa. But again, if you are in a country that either is not doing visas to the United States, they're not allowing travel or anything like that, then we unfortunately will not be able to have you participate in the program. But you do not have to be a U.S. citizen. You do not have to live in the United States. As long as you can get a visa to get here, we will get you here and we will pay for it. So that is the answer to that question. I know that that is a long explanation, but I wanted to make sure that it was very clear. So this program has no requirements of U.S. citizenship or U.S. residency, but we are constrained by the visa process, which for some countries right now with COVID and all sorts of things is difficult. So just keep that in mind, and maybe you want to look into that before you apply. We will also work with you once you apply to look into the visa situation to see if you will be able to get here. So that is all about the travel component. Like I said, it's only 1 week. So most of this will be online. So you will have two days a month that will be live virtually. So there's the first Thursday and the third Thursday of the month at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central, and 1:30 Pacific time. And this is another point to bring up. If you are outside of the United States, depending on where you are in the world, that might be in the middle of the night for you. So if that's going to be a problem, this is maybe not a program. But if you don't have a problem waking up at 2 a.m. to do a live thing, more power to you. We would love to have you. So those are mandatory. The first Thursday and third Thursday of the month will be live for an hour. The first Thursday is everyone in the program, and you'll be meeting. We'll do a kickoff lesson to the topic for that month that we will be covering. And then we will, on on the third Thursday, you'll be meeting specifically with the people in your concentration to talk more about how that topic applies to your area of interest. So if we're learning about ecology, what does the field component look like? What does the marine technology component look like? What does the laboratory component look like? So you'll be breaking down those topics into your specific concentrations, but that first meeting of the month will be broad overview of the topic. And throughout the month, in addition to those live meetings, you'll also have access to asynchronous content that will be online that you can access. So papers, articles, little recorded lectures, activities, things that the instructors have put together to help you better understand the topic. So you can think of it more of like an online course in the traditional sense, where you're working on it at your own pace with those specific topics. And then you're meeting at the beginning to introduce the topic, and then halfway through to meet with your cohort of your concentration. So those are important things. There were some questions that came through about, can you miss one? So they are mandatory. So we really, to get the most out of the program, you need to be able to attend all of them. But we also know that life happens, things happen that are beyond our control. So if you miss one or two, that's fine. We will work with you to get caught up so that you don't miss anything critical. But really, if you're going to be missing a lot of them, that's not going to be helpful to you. And so you're likely not going to get a lot out of the program. So we do ask that you apply only if you can commit to that first and third Thursday of the month for 1 hour each. Okay, so we've got a question coming in, which is, do applicants need to have an academic background in marine science? No, you do not. So the only requirement is that you be over the age of 18, and that is for legal reasons. We can't do it with minors. So as long as you're over 18, you are free to apply. You don't need to have a degree of any kind. You don't need to be enrolled in a degree program. You don't have to have taken any classes in marine science. What we're really wanting to do here is give people an opportunity to learn about ocean science and get their foot in the door with a career that they are really interested in, but for whatever reason have not been able to access. And there's a lot of reasons why people haven't been able to access that. Maybe you can't afford to go to school. And so we're not penalizing anyone for not having academic classes or anything like that. If this is your first course in marine science, that's great. That's what we're here for, to be a stepping stone and provide that experience. So you don't need to have any classes in marine science. You don't need to have any college classes in general. Honestly, you certainly don't need to have a degree. You don't need to be enrolled in school. We're really focused with this program on people that don't have access to marine science courses. So if you attend a university where you don't have marine science, this is for you. If you are really trying to get enough money saved up to get a degree, but you haven't quite gotten there, this is for you. If you graduated and you have an undergraduate degree, but now you're stuck because your undergraduate degree is in something and you're having issues getting into marine science because you don't have specific marine science experience, this is for you. If you have been working in a certain job for 20 or 30 years and you've decided that you want to do a career change and that now you're interested in ocean science and you're not sure how to get involved, how do you make the switch from business to ocean science, or from being a surgeon to being an ocean scientist, anything like that, this program is also for you. So there are no restrictions on courses that you had or anything. You'll notice when you look at the application that we do not ask for a resume or for transcripts because we don't care about what your grades are or what they have been. Grades do not make a person, and grades do not determine whether you are going to be successful in science or not. So we don't ask because we don't care. And so don't feel like you need to have a certain number of courses or you needed to get a certain grade. We don't even ask for your transcripts. We could care less. So go ahead and apply. And we also don't ask for resumes or CVs because we specifically want to give this opportunity to people that don't have a lot of experience. And so we're not expecting someone to have an extensive CV or resume. And so we don't ask for it because we don't want people to feel like this is not for them because they don't have a quote unquote impressive resume. That's not what this program is about. This program is about building up people that need the opportunity. So yeah, that's who our target is, and all of that in a nutshell. So the next thing that I want to talk about that people have been asking questions about is the BIPOC gender minorities. So BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, or a person of color. And race and ethnicity is a social construct. It kind of doesn't mean anything. So whatever you feel you identify as, that is what you identify as. We are not here to identity police people. So if you think that Black, Indigenous, or person of color describes you, then you are considered BIPOC for the purposes of this application. And then gender minorities. So gender minorities is someone that's from a minoritized gender in STEM. So in STEM, the dominant gender is cis male, so people who were born male and identify as male. And so everyone else would be, a gender minority, someone from a minoritized gender. So this includes cis women, it includes trans women, it includes trans men, it includes non-binary folks, it includes two-spirit folks, it includes gender fluid folks, it includes all of these other identities that I'm sure I'm missing and not naming at the moment. So yes, that is how we're defining gender minority. And again, gender is a social construct. We are not here to tell you whether or not you are a gender minority. If that is how you identify, that is how you identify. So if you feel like BIPOC gender minority fits you, please apply. So that's a little bit about the BIPOC gender minority of our target for this program. We have another question about the selection process. What does the selection process consist of? This is a great question. So the way that we have this, we have a couple of questions in our application, and these are questions that are designed to learn more about you. And so the first question is just for you to tell us about yourself, and that's open-ended. We just want to know who you are as a person. And the reason why we ask that question first is because we want to know who you are as a person. And a lot of times in application processes, I personally feel like they don't actually care about me. They care about these metrics that I don't think define who I am. And so our first question is for you to tell us about you. Who are you? What do you like to do? What's important to you? What do you value? What aspects of yourself do you think are going to make you a great ocean scientist? All those sorts of things. That's what we want to hear about. And then our second question is focused on kind of why this program. So our next question is, have you had any previous research experience? So like I said, this program is to help people who don't have a lot of experience, so don't feel stressed about answering that question. If the answer is no, I don't have any, that is fine. Please don't stop filling out the application because you don't have any research experience. That's actually who we're looking for. So don't feel bad. Or if your experience is not in ocean sciences, feel free to tell us that. Maybe you help your family on the family farm. You can tell us about that. Maybe you had a science fair project when you were a kid. You could tell us about that. Anything at all that you want to tell us about how you have interacted with the natural world. So that's a super broad question. The next question is about if you had a grant and you could study anything in the world, what would you study? And also don't stress about this. It doesn't have to be feasible. This is not a hardcore research proposal. We just want to know how you think in terms of what you're interested in, the questions that you're interested in, the science that you're interested in, because we want to make sure that your questions that you're interested in are going to be helped by participating in this program. So we have these 3 concentrations, and so we just want to know kind of what concentration aligns with your way of thinking. We don't want to put a square peg into a round hole. So if you're interested in technology and your dream research project has to do with building a robot, then obviously we're going to put you in the marine technology concentration. So this is mostly to help us decide which concentration would be best for you. So don't stress about that question. And then the next is describe your career goals and how this program will help you meet those goals. And this is just so that we know when we're doing our professional development and when we're training our mentors, what kinds of things people that are participating in this program are looking for. So you don't have to have your whole life figured out. It can be super general, like I'm interested in conservation, or I'm interested in more of the social science aspect of ocean science. That's really going to help us determine who are the best mentors to pair you with, what sorts of professional development things we need to have. If we have a lot of people interested in social science, then we'll spend more time talking about social science. If we have a lot of people interested in conservation, we'll spend a lot more time talking about conservation. So this whole application process, don't think of it as us judging you. Think of it as us trying to figure out how best to get you in a position where you can be successful in ocean science, whether that's through our program or not. So this is just to help us learn about you, and we might be able to offer you alternative programs or mentorship opportunities if maybe our program doesn't align, if we understand you better and where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. The next question is describe your strengths and weaknesses. Don't stress about that question either. Don't stress about any of these questions is the moral of the story. We want to know your greatest strengths and weaknesses because we want to make your weaknesses strengths, and we want to celebrate your strengths and make sure that we are playing to all of the strengths of our participants in the program that we design. And then the last question is to describe your greatest professional/educational triumph or a challenge that you're currently working on turning into a triumph. And this is an opportunity for you to celebrate yourself. So what challenges have you overcome? What things have you done in your life that you are super proud of? And we want to know about that because we want to celebrate that with you. And we want to know where you're coming from, if we can help you overcome any challenges, if we can support you in something that you're dealing with, if there is something that you feel really excited about that you have completed, you feel triumphant about. We want to know that because that helps us understand who you are, what you value, and all of those things. So that's the application in a nutshell. And at the end of the application, you have the opportunity to share whatever you want. So if we didn't ask you a question and you want to tell us something about you or something that you think we should know when looking at your application, you have the opportunity to put that there. So you use that however you see fit. When we're looking at these applications, we're reading all of these questions, we're thinking about 3 big things. Passion. So, are you really excited and interested in ocean science? Impact. Will this program help you connect to from where you are to where you're going? Because we want this program to be a stepping stone. Again, we want to build people up from where they are to help them get to where they want to be. And so we're looking at how much impact would participating in this program have? Are we going to be able to help you get from point A to point B? That's the second thing. And the third thing is commitment. And commitment can be shown in a lot of different ways. So we are really looking for people who are going to really be involved in what we have to teach them. They're going to soak it in like a sponge. They're going to be there. They're going to be in the middle of the action. They're going to be learning everything that they can learn. They're going to be doing everything that they can do, and really make the most of the opportunity. So those are the three things we're looking for: impact, passion, commitment. So that's what your applications, as we read them, what we'll be thinking about. All right. So I'm not seeing any other questions come in, but I will just take a couple of minutes while we're seeing if anyone else has any questions. Feel free to leave a comment. I can see them. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or anything, and I will try and answer them. So another thing that I want to go over is the number of participants. So we will have 30 participants total. Half of those will come from the state of Florida or Chicago. And then the other half can come from anywhere in the world. So that is kind of how that breakdown is. If you're curious as to why half of the spots are for Florida or Chicago, that is because the Barancik Foundation, who has graciously sponsored this program, those are their target areas. So half of them are going to come from those target areas, and then the other half can come from anywhere around the United States or around the world. Someone asked about college credit in our emails, and so the short answer to this is maybe we could do college credit. So each university is different. Some universities have, independent study programs or direct independent study programs or whatever they call them, internship credits, things like that. We are happy to work with your academic institution and fill out any necessary paperwork to be able to have you get college credit. So if that's something that you're interested in, we will work with your academic institution and see if we can make that happen. But again, that's not on our side to decide. That's on your academic institution side to decide. So you'd have to talk to them, but we are happy to work with them and do whatever we can to make sure you get college credit if your university offers that. I also want to take a moment to address accommodations. So we have a goal of being inclusive as an organization, and certainly in this program. And so we absolutely will accommodate for disabilities in every possible way that we can. And so once we've accepted everyone and everything, we will reach out with the accepted participants and ask them about any accommodations that they need. We will, of course, do this after we've already made the decision, so you don't need to feel like disclosing it is going to mess something up. So we will work with you with whatever needs you have. We have resources at our partner institutions. We have resources through MISS that we could do, and we will make sure that we accommodate for any things that you may need in order to have a successful program. All right. So I guess the last thing that I will talk about, I don't see anyone having any questions, is our mentors. I just want to give a shout out to our great mentors. We have a really awesome team of folks working on this program. The first is Dr. Sora Kim, who will be the main mentor for the laboratory techniques concentration. Dr. Sora Kim is located at the University of California, Merced. She works mostly with stable isotopes and how marine environments have changed over time. So she's a paleoceanographer, which is a really awesome and unique research field. So that's Dr. Kim. And Dr. Kim will be working with a near-peer mentor. So each person has a near-peer mentor who is a graduate student or an undergraduate student who is going to be working with them to help mentor and guide the people doing that concentration. And then we have two main mentors at field school in Miami. and that is Dr. Catherine McDonald, who is a research assistant professor at the University of Miami, and Dr. Julia Wester, who is the associate director of the Ecosystem Science and Policy undergraduate program. So Dr. Wester is a social scientist, so she does a lot of interdisciplinary work with the marine science, so she will be able to speak to those of you that are interested in that. And then Dr. Catherine McDonald is a field ecologist. So they both will be co-leading the field ecology concentration in addition to the near peer mentor. And then we have Dr. Cameron Brown and Marianne Long. So Dr. Brown is at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, and he is a professor there. And Marianne is the education director at the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy. So Marianne is a lot more of the science education, science outreach side of things, and Cameron is a lot more on the marine technology side. So we have a lot of different mentors that are interested in a lot of different aspects of ocean science. And they will be joined by Jada Elcock, who is our Director of Public Relations, who will be the near peer mentor for that. Amani Weber-Schultz will be the near peer mentor for field school. And yeah. So you'll get an opportunity to interact with some of the exec board members as well through this program of exec board members of MISS. So I will close out by, we keep getting asked the question of, is this really free? Yes, it is free. I know that is hard to believe, but it is free. You don't have to pay for anything, not even travel, all free. Free. So there are no expenses associated with it. We will cover everything. Most of the program is online. So anywhere that you can access the internet, you can go online and participate. So if you have any questions that I haven't answered, I will pause for a couple of minutes to see if any questions come through the comments. Otherwise, if you want to ask your questions privately or you think of something after I leave this call, feel free to email us at execboard@misselasmo.org. You can also message us on any social media platform. And this video will be posted on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram after this recording is done. So if you need to go back and refer to it, or maybe you just caught the tail end of it, you can do that and hear the rest of what we talked about today. So thank you everyone for sitting and listening to this Q&A session. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this made it very clear what this program is, our selection process, who's eligible, everything like that. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us, and we will walk you through anything that you need help with. We're here to help even before the program starts. We're here to help if you have any questions. One thing I will say is that we will not be looking at your grammar for when you write in the application. So don't stress if your grammar is not perfect. We know that sometimes English isn't their first language, or other things, and so we're not going to be hypercritical about how you write. We're more interested in the content of what you write. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.